Finally met your match, Chameleon.
We're not so different.
Kung Fu Panda 4 released last week and gave us a few new characters who have left quite a mark on the franchise already. If you've watched the first trilogy, I think you'd agree that this film felt more like a fanfiction and sort of lacked the essence of the previous films in the franchise. Even though they introduced many hilarious and interesting characters, the plot felt rushed and was focused more on the exposition arcs. Like, we needed an origin, we needed more fights between the villain and the hero, but sadly it is what it is. Maybe the next installment will do justice for our big friend Po, but anyways, given how little the film gives us about the backstory of its new characters, I think now would be a fitting time to discuss every new character that deserves to get noticed in Kung Fu 4. So, without wasting another moment, let's get right into it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means an awful lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Chameleon.
We're not so different, you and I.
The Chameleon! Starting strong with one of the most complex villains Po has ever faced, the Chameleon is the first female antagonist in the Kung Fu Panda franchise. The concept of this character was based on channeling a darker version of Po, given that both of them rose from nothing to a position of power, while being grossly underestimated by the society based on how they look. Now, the theory is that maybe she was one of the good guys who got rejected over and over again by kung fu masters who had no interest in teaching a tiny chameleon. When she realized her potential for magical prowess, the beady-eyed, sneaky sorceress began climbing the social ladder and started ruling over Juniper City, determined to prove herself to all those who had doubted her. She channeled the rage of her traumatic childhood to become the most terrifying version of herself. Society is prone to judging a book by its cover, but she didn't let that stop her. Instead, she used it to her benefit and taught herself how to shapeshift, do sorcery, and survive on the streets. To avenge the discrimination she had to face, the chameleon promised herself she'd be the best kung fu master ever. Eventually, she rose through the ranks to gather enough power to dominate all the crime bosses of Juniper City and take their riches. But even after becoming a powerful sorceress, the chameleon had realized that although she could transform into anything she wanted to, she didn't have the skills for becoming a kung fu master. So, the chameleon had her sights set on the Staff of Wisdom, a powerful tool that could bring back anyone from the spirit world. She planned to steal Po's staff to summon all the Kung Fu masters from the spirit world and steal their Kung Fu power. The evil sorceress figured if she managed to absorb the powers of Po's old enemies with her sleek tongue, she'd finally be strong enough to take him down and take over the world. So, she sent Chen to deceive Po and get the Staff of Wisdom from him. Even though she managed to take the staff from Po, open up the spirit realm, and steal the chi of a bunch of powerful Kung Fu masters, in the end, Po and Chen teamed up and ultimately stopped her. The chameleon's reign of terror ended with her being sent off to the spirit realm with Tai Lung.
I'm only hungry for
dumplings?
Vengeance.
Well then, come and get it.
Chen! Coming to that zesty thieving fox, Chen honestly had a pretty tragic life story. Chen was orphaned as a cub and grew up trying to survive the unforgiving streets of Juniper City. Eventually, she found temporary shelter after being taken in by Han and his group, the Den of Thieves. She stole and robbed to get by from day to day, and this rendered her nonchalant and fearless towards literally anything that came her way. One day, when the chameleon and her army were patrolling the city streets, an unhinged Chen boldly went to steal from her, while the Den of Thieves watched with awe. Of course, she was caught by the chameleon, who was visibly impressed by the potential Chen had, took her in, and trained her for years to come. Chen abandoned the Den of Thieves and pledged her loyalty to the chameleon. She was tasked to go and fetch the Staff of Wisdom from Po, which Chen did by plotting everything so cunningly that Po mistook her for a friend. At the Piece of Valley, Chen meets Po when he was actively looking for a new dragon warrior on Master Shifu's command. Po had sent her to prison for trying to steal ancient weapons and treasures, but while Chen was being taken away, a bunch of miners informed him that Tai Lung was back. At first, Po was visibly confused because Tai Lung is supposed to be in the spirit realm, but soon Chen cleared it up that it's not Tai Lung but a shape-shifting sorceress called the Chameleon. Soon Po realized that Chen knew a lot about this chameleon woman, and if he plans on stopping her, he has to team up with the sly fox. So, Po breaks her out of jail, refuses to listen to Master Shifu about choosing the next dragon warrior, and leaves for Juniper City with Chen for one last adventure as a dragon warrior. After they reach the heart of the chameleon's creepy castle in Juniper City, Po is trapped in a heavy cage. Although he tries to break out of it, Po fails, given that the cage is enchanted with magic. As a solution, he gives his staff of wisdom to Zen and asks her to take down the upcoming threat. The chameleon then comes onto the scene, and Po finds out how Zen had actually been working for her all along. She gives the staff to the evil sorceress, betraying Po's trust and leaving him absolutely devastated for being so gullible. The chameleon then throws Po off of a cliff, but luckily his dads come right on time to save him. Meanwhile, Zen is shocked to see the chameleon being so brutally heartless, as she didn't know that betraying Po for the Staff of Wisdom would mean the end of his life. After Po rises back in action, Zen's alliances shift as she rallies the Den of Thieves to help out Po's cause. She joins Po in the fight, and together they defeat the chameleon. After the battle, Zen prepares to return to prison, but Po saw something special in her from the very beginning. So he surprises everyone by taking Zen to the Jade Palace and announcing her to be his successor as the new Dragon Warrior. Although Master Shifu isn't very happy with this decision, Po, confident in it, tries to reason with him. The film ends as Po, along with the Furious Five, helps to train Zen to become the next Dragon Warrior. So maybe the next two films in this trilogy would see Zen's progress as the new Dragon Warrior.
Why should we help you?
We can take down the chameleon.
Han is a Sunda pangolin who is the leader of the Den of Thieves in Juniper City. They all live together inside an underground cave, plotting and planning their thieving tactics. When Zen was just a young orphan fox, Han took her in and mentored her, teaching her the parlor tricks for stealing and deceiving the people of Juniper City. Even after Zen had betrayed Han by siding with the dictator Chameleon, he sheltered her when Zen, along with Po, begged him to let them stay overnight. Even when Zen approaches him to help her out in taking down the chameleon, Han motivates his Den of Thieves to go to Po's aid, irrespective of their questionable motivations. Han's special skill is curling up into a scaly disc, which helps him in fights as he bounces off his opponents.
Now you kids be careful of those fireworks.
Violence makes our time.
The Rabid Rabbits. Now, don't be fooled by their innocent faces. Although these three bunnies look like innocent, harmless kids only interested in playing, in reality, they're bloodthirsty sadists with a penchant for violence. At first meet, the bunnies quickly attack Po, with some of them nibbling on his chest and basically chomping on him. They behave like aggressive, furry little piranhas towards anyone because violence makes their tummies tingle. Even when Po tries to suggest that violence isn't the solution, the bunnies misinterpret him, believing that more violence in the future is preferable to less violence in the present. Although their thirst for blood does come in handy when the Den of Thieves attacks the chameleon and her army, allowing them to bite everything and everyone in their vicinity.
Get it.
Destroy them!
Granny Boar. Granny Boar is the owner of the Happy Bunny Tavern, which is operated by traumatized bunnies she enslaves under her thumb. This tavern acts as a pit stop to Juniper City, where Po and Zen make a stop to get some food. This place is always brimming with goons who are actually Granny's group of bandits, consisting of boars, wolves, and warthogs. It's the den of many illegal activities like poker and gambling. Po and Zen get stuck here when Zen steals from the tavern, getting them into trouble. Luckily, Po uses his kung fu skills to ward off the bandits, destroy the tavern, and give back whatever Zen stole. Later again, when Po's dads, Mr. Ping and Lee, come to the tavern in search of Po, Granny Boar tries to hold them accountable for the losses their son caused her. Lee manages to fend them off with a hilarious fight, and, well, they left the tavern in shambles, with most of Granny Boar and her crew drowning. Fish Captain! In the Happy Bunny Tavern, Po meets Fish, who is said to be the captain of a ship that can take him and Zen to Juniper City. Fish's mother, Chip, initially speaks for him until he reveals that he actually lives in her beak. Anyways, the Fish Captain was initially wary of Po's intentions, thinking he might be carrying illegal items, but later, he agrees to the journey after discussing the price. After Zen and Po were thrown out of the tavern, Fish catches them on his ship and takes them to their destination. During the trip to Juniper City, Fish playfully suggests that Zen could be the next Dragon Warrior, and he shares a bond with Po as they both were adopted. Upon reaching Juniper City, Fish spends some time there with Chip, and they encounter Mr. Ping briefly during their stay. Now, Fish acts as the spokesperson for both himself and his mother, Chip, understanding and translating her squawks. He's hesitant to get involved in any actions and avoids combat, only providing transportation for Po and Zen as far as they need to go before leaving. Despite this, he's friendly towards them during the journey and maintains a slightly philosophical demeanor. His mother, on the other hand, maintains the same empty stare during the entire time, except for the time she completely freaked out when she lost Fish during the bar brawl at the tavern. Marvelous Verdict! Of course, there are many other newly introduced side characters in the film, like the 3 warriors who compete for the Dragon Warrior post in the beginning, or the herd of police bulls chasing Zen and Po across Juniper City, but in this video, we highlighted the new characters that we felt made the biggest impact on the film. So that's it for this video, but let us know your favorite character down in the comments below, or anybody we missed. Maybe we can do a video highlighting them. Also, have you guys watched the film yet? Let us know what you thought of it down below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe out there, and thanks for watching.